This webinar is titled The News, When It Propagates Lies and Omits the Truth. Well, even in the founding period this was an issue, and the founders needed people to realize that newspapers were not reliable. Jefferson said this, "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper." He also said, "Truth itself becomes suspicious by being put into that polluted vehicle." He went on to say that people falsely believe that they're informed by newspapers in this quote, "I really look with commiseration over the great body of my fellow citizens who reading newspapers live and die in the belief that they have known something of what has been passing the world of their time." In other words, the substantial things happening in the world and the things that matter over the long view of history are seldom really articulated and explored well in newspapers, as newspapers are more of a small, short-term view of things and looking at things, but not a long-term contemplation of things. Jefferson also had these thoughts on telling lies, and although it was for a general audience, it could be applied to those working in the press. He who permits himself to tell a lie once finds it much easier to do it a second and third time, till at length it becomes habitual. He tells lies without attending to it, and truths without the world's believing him. This falsehood of the tongue leads to that of the heart, and people can become self-deceived. So when the press becomes self-deceived itself, we need to seek out truth. The firmness with which the people have withstood the late abuses of the press and the discernment they have manifested between truth and falsehood show that they may be safely trusted to hear everything true and false and to form a correct judgment between them. So you need to be discerning as to what you hear in the press and in the news and discover truth from error and not just be carried along. Jefferson finished with this, "Whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. But whenever things get so far wrong as to attract their notice, they may be relied on to set them to rights," which means basically if we're paying attention and we begin to see an avalanche of lies coming our way, will we be a people group that stands up to it, finds out truth, and corrects those wrongs and makes them right? This is a lot to think about, and this is U.S. Civics Training. Thanks for listening.